Hello, if we've never met before, my name is Rachel, and I like to talk about spirituality, healing, overcoming trauma, and I help people overcome suffering and challenges. A lot of it has to do with living your most authentic and real life. And today I want to touch on how being seen is huge for healing. So, I've done a lot of work in being seen for who I am. I've worked a lot on becoming confident and honoring who I am authentically. And some of that a lot of it doesn't fit into the mainstream, typical, what a white girl should be, whatever. Okay, upper middle class is how I was raised. So, people come up with the identity of, oh, well, that kind of person does this. When I was younger, my dad had a lot of big feelings in the house. He would be the one that would suck up all of the emotional energy and all of the energy in the house. So my feelings kind of went to the wayside. Like, I was literally 7 years old, like in first grade. I would have such big feelings that I would run up to my bedroom door and slam the door shut and be like, everyone, leave me alone. Like, I wanted to be seen and heard so bad, and I wasn't getting that. My needs were not being met. Now, again, if you look from the outside, the needs of a home and food and shelter definitely being met, right? But just being sensitive, those emotional needs of just telling me that my feelings were okay, validating me, that's what I needed to kind of integrate and heal and not have this really intense emotional reaction. So fast forward to now, when today I got to hop on a my work meeting, one of my job's meetings, and I volunteered to share about myself so my team could get to know me. And I really went all in on my transformation, like who I was as a kid to who I am today. And even my day today was so synchronistic. I got to go to another of my in-person jobs that I absolutely love, and I was so loved and seen by everybody there. And then I got to share at this job my transformation from past me, more present me, to how I want to keep moving in the future. And I thanked them at the end for saying, like, hey, thanks for holding space and seeing me. So why being seen is so incredibly healing is because you get to own your story and become empowered for what happened to you or what has happened in your life. What tends to happen is people, they carry around a lot of guilt and shame about something. So then they say, well, I can't share that part of me, right? So they hide it in the closet and they live in denial and they think they can't be fully themselves. So then they don't express their full self, right? They dim their light and they play small. But the more you deny yourself, the more you can't allow more of your dreams and your reality to come to be. And that's a choice. It is I was listening to a training last week where someone said, lean into the scary no. Like, lean into the scary yes. That's what I meant. Lean into the scary yes. Because it's scary. Your bigger ego mind is saying, yes, that's what you want more of. Go after that thing. Become that next version of you that your soul wants you to become, or whatever that longing is, that desire. If you want to become that, you need to do what you haven't done already to become the version of you that you are. So when I talk about transformation and identity and shifting and growing, it demands of you for you to become that next level and version of yourself and step into it. And it is a little scary because you don't know what it is yet. But if you want something different in your relationships, in your money, in your career, in your business, in your life, in your friendships, in your physical body, in your emotional body, overcoming trauma, whatever it is, you need to step up and into that. And nobody can do that work for you. I can sit here and inspire you and share this message, but you need to be the one that does that identity work and that identity shift. Which is why, in my opinion, coaching and healing that I have taken in has become so transformational for me. Because it is this deep work that helps you shift in a powerful way. Sure, therapy teaches you tools and skills. That's important. We definitely need to be talking more about that stuff. But you can also see why people in therapy have been there for 10, 20 years, because they're not changing that identity. They're just learning more logical tools to learn and take in. But if you want something different, you need to transform and become that thing. And people that have going to therapy 10 plus years, it's a comfort zone thing, right? That's gotten comfortable for them. There's a lot of people into fitness, right? And there's people in my circle that have done bodybuilding. So, they were into fitness and health for a long time, and then they wanted to stretch themselves into doing a bodybuilding competition and the prep for it, right? Which is just a more intense version of what they've already been doing. And to become that thing that they wanted to be, they had to take new action steps and get uncomfortable and get really hungry. And their physical body was saying yo, I don't want to do this. But if you want that thing, here's what it takes of you to become that. So again, if you look at your relationship, if you have a crappy relationship and you don't do anything to make it better, why do you think it's going to change? People love to do this all the time. They blame the partner. But guess what? In a partnership, there are two parties of the relationship. And of course, each one is having their own perception and experience, because we live in a reality where there's this illusion of separation. But this story is valid, and the experience and perception, as well as the other person's. So if you just sit there and blame, nothing improves. I'm not saying that the transformation journey, it's cool to be on the other side of it, but during it, it is the most uncomfortable thing in the world. And I can say that because I've experienced it in lots of areas of my life, in my physical body, in love and relationships and intimacy. Those are the two main ones, is my health and love and relationships. And I know as I continue, I've had this visual that I've done these really hard changes in those two areas of my life, and I'm very thankful and grateful for it. And now I'm also pivoting it to other areas of my life, right? Home, money, career, business, whatever. So with all that being said, if you want support in that transformation, that is what I do as a coach and a healer. I love it. I've walked the path before. I know how to hold space for people's really big feelings. I understand that fears come up. I am getting more and more clear on people's objections. They want something, but then they shrink back from it, right? And my whole point of what I started to channel in this message is you will heal when you take up space being yourself, and you bring all the stuff you want to hide in the closet to yourself. I'm sitting at a table right now. Here is me as a pure, innocent child. Okay. And then here's me as a teenager who started to go through some really hard stuff. Here's the me that started to, my 20s were just really rough. There was a lot of really hard, difficult lessons and times. And now I'm also bringing in or having this part at the table. That's the, me going through all this hard stuff, and I'm still that innocent kid, and I'm still me, and what I'm bringing forward into the future is so much wisdom and knowledge and the ability to help people. You can see the people that are in the public eye who are very vulnerable and real, and you know their whole story. You like them, you trust them. So with that being said, I will leave it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you soon. If you want more information, check out my bio, or the link in the bio. No, down below. I'll see you soon. Bye.